Most men do not fail in the market because they lack intelligence. They fail because they lack patience at the moment it matters most, the moment they decide to enter. I have watched it happen time and time again. A man studies charts for hours, reads every opinion he can find, convinces himself he understands the market, and then, when the time comes, he rushes. He does not enter based on fact. He enters based on fear. Fear of missing out, fear of being left behind, fear that the move will happen without him. And that, my friend, is where your entries begin to fail. You see, a poor entry is rarely a technical problem. It is almost always a psychological one. The chart does not deceive you. Your emotions do. I learned this lesson in the most expensive way possible. In my early days, I believed that the secret to success was being first. I wanted to catch the move at its very beginning, to buy at the lowest price and sell at the highest. It sounded logical. It sounded brilliant. It was also foolish, because the market does not reward those who are first. It rewards those who are right. There is a difference. You enter too early because you believe anticipation is skill. You see price approaching a level, and instead of waiting for confirmation, you act. You tell yourself it's going to move from here. And perhaps sometimes it does, but many times it does not. And those times, they bleed your account slowly, trade by trade. I once took a position in a stock that I believed had reached its bottom. Everything in me said it could not go lower. The price had already fallen so far. It seemed unreasonable to expect more decline. So I bought, and it fell further. I bought again, and it fell further still. What I had mistaken for value was merely weakness in disguise. I was not trading what was happening. I was trading what I thought should happen, and the market has no respect for your opinions. That is the first reason your entries fail. You are trading your beliefs, not the facts. The market speaks in one language, price action. It does not whisper. It does not hint. It declares. And yet most traders refuse to listen. They predict instead of observe. A proper entry is not an act of prediction. It is an act of confirmation. Let me explain this to you in the simplest way possible. When a stock or an index, as you trade today, begins to move, it leaves evidence. There is a shift in behavior. Price stops doing one thing and begins doing another. That shift is your signal. But you, like most traders, grow impatient waiting for that shift to complete. You jump in halfway through the story, and then you wonder why the ending does not favor you. You are entering during uncertainty, and uncertainty is where money is lost. Now understand this clearly. The market spends more time in uncertainty than it does in clarity. That means if you are constantly trading, you are most likely trading in the wrong conditions. I made my fortunes not by trading often, but by trading at the right moments. I sat for days, sometimes weeks, doing nothing. And then, when the opportunity presented itself clearly, I acted decisively. You must learn to do the same. Your second mistake is impatience disguised as opportunity. You see a candle move quickly, and you think, this is it. You see a breakout beginning, and you rush in before it confirms. You convince yourself that speed is necessary, but the truth is, the best moves allow you time. They reveal themselves in stages. They test levels. They pull back. They gather strength. A move that offers no entry is often a move not worth taking. The market does not require you to chase it. If you find yourself chasing, you are already in a weak position. I recall a time when I watched a stock break above a key level. The movement was sharp, almost violent. Many traders rushed in, eager to ride the momentum. I did nothing. Why? Because I had seen this behavior before. Sharp moves often attract the crowd, and the crowd is usually late. The stock pulled back shortly after, shaking out those who entered impulsively. Only then, when it stabilized and proved its strength, did I enter, and that trade was effortless. That is how a proper entry feels, not forced, not rushed. It feels as though the market is inviting you in, not daring you to chase it. Your third mistake is entering without a defined risk. Now this is where fortunes are truly lost. An entry without a stop is not a trade, it is a gamble. When you enter the market, you must already know where you are wrong. Not where you hope to be wrong, but exactly where the market will prove your idea invalid. If you do not know this before entering, you have no business being in the trade. In my early years, I often ignored this principle. I would enter a position with confidence, but without discipline. When the market moved against me, I would hesitate to exit. I would rationalize. I would hope. Hope is a dangerous companion in the market. It whispers to you, give it more time. It tells you it will come back. And sometimes it does. But the times it does not, they are devastating. I learned to cut my losses quickly, not because I enjoyed it, but because I understood that survival is the first rule of speculation. A good entry is not just about where you get in. It is about where you get out if you are wrong. Now let us speak of how to fix these failures and fix them quickly. The first adjustment you must make is this. Stop trying to be early. There is no reward for catching the exact top or bottom. That is a game for fools and gamblers. Your goal is not perfection. Your goal is consistency. Wait for confirmation. Let the market show its hand. Let it break structure. Let it retest. Let it prove that the move is real. Only then do you enter. You may miss the first part of the move. That is acceptable. There is still plenty of profit in the middle, and the middle is where the highest probability lies. The second adjustment is to define your conditions clearly. Before the market opens, you should already know what you are looking for, not in vague terms, but in precise criteria. You should know what a valid setup looks like. You should know what invalidates it. You should know exactly where you will enter, where you will exit, and how much you are willing to risk. If these things are not decided in advance, they will be decided in the heat of the moment, and in that moment, your emotions will take control. And emotions are poor traders. The third adjustment is to reduce your frequency. Most traders believe that more trades mean more opportunities. This is incorrect. More trades mean more exposure to mistakes. If you take 10 trades in a day, how many of those are truly high-quality setups? Perhaps one, maybe two. The rest are born out of boredom, impatience, or the desire to recover losses. I made far more money waiting than I ever did trading. You must train yourself to do nothing, to sit on your hands, to watch the market without feeling the need to act. That is discipline, and discipline is what separates the professional from the amateur. The fourth adjustment is to study your losses. Every failed entry leaves behind a lesson, but most traders do not study them. They move on quickly, eager to find the next trade. Do not do this. Examine each loss carefully. Ask yourself, did I enter too early? Did I ignore confirmation? Was I chasing? Did I define my risk? You will begin to see patterns. Not in the market, but in your behavior. And once you understand your behavior, you can begin to correct it. Because the greatest opponent you face in trading is not the market. It is yourself. Now, let me leave you with something that took me years to understand. The market does not pay you for being active. It pays you for being right. And being right does not come from intelligence alone. It comes from patience, discipline, and the ability to wait for the moment when everything aligns. That moment is rare, but when it comes, you must be ready. Not eager, not emotional, ready. So the next time you feel the urge to enter a trade, pause. Ask yourself, am I acting on evidence or on emotion? Is the market confirming my idea, or am I trying to force it? Do I know exactly where I am wrong, or am I hoping to be right? If you cannot answer these questions with clarity, then you have no business entering. Wait, because in waiting, you preserve your capital, and in preserving your capital, you preserve your future. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail in this game is not knowledge, it is execution. And execution begins with the entry. Master that, and you will find that the market which once seemed chaotic and unforgiving, begins to make sense. Ignore it, and you will continue to pay the price. The choice, as always, is yours.